Hello guys and welcome to Game of Box Office. Today's video will be a prediction about the upcoming Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, which will be released on July 7th, 2017. As always, let's start off with the points who work in favor for the box office run of Spider-Man Homecoming. I know it gets a little bit annoying, but just like in the analysis on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and Thor Ragnarok, I have to list the Avengers universe as a whole as the first pro point. Right now, the Avengers Cinematic Universe is at a unique place when it comes to its box office reputation. Disney could release anything they want right now from the Marvel Universe and it will turn into a financial success. Spider-Man Homecoming is the next movie after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 in the release plan of the Avengers Cinematic Universe. And don't forget that most audiences all over the world will connect the new Spider-Man with the Spider-Man appearance from Civil War. And since Civil War was so high acclaimed and loved by most fans, they were really looking forward to Spider-Man Homecoming. The next thing I want to point out is the box office history of the superhero Spider-Man. Since 2002, there were 5 Spider-Man movies in total. The Spider-Man trilogy from Sam Raimi, which broke a lot of box office records and were huge successes all the way through. And after that, the 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies, with Andrew Garfield as the leading actor instead of Tobey Maguire. Those 2 films also grossed quite some money with roughly 710 to 760 million worldwide. Not as good as the original Spider-Man movies from Sam Raimi, but still pretty good. With such a huge fan base and a box office history like that, it's impossible for Spider-Man Homecoming to perform bad at the box office. It's just a question of how high the movie can get. The next positive thing I want to mention is the new interpretation of Spider-Man from Civil War. Spider-Man will be now portrayed by the actor Tom Holland, the guy who portrayed Spider-Man in Civil War. While there were a few voices after the movie which said that Black Panther is just maybe not the right thing, almost everybody agreed that the new Spider-Man was perfectly cast, and the majority of the audiences really liked the new man in the suit. This goodwill will carry over to the release of Spider-Man Homecoming 100%, and this could help the box office run of this reboot enormously. The last thing I want to point out is the fact that Robert Downey Jr., aka Iron Man, will appear in the movie, and probably not just by a cameo. While it's still not safe yet, there were a lot of voices who claimed that Tony Stark will be featured heavily in the movie. IMDb also lists Robert Downey Jr. in the cast, and since Iron Man was the person in Civil War who recruited Spider-Man for the battle, it's pretty safe to say that he will have a bigger role in the Spider-Man standalone movie. Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is like the godfather out of the Avengers Cinematic Universe, and doesn't matter where he appears, the box office performance will go higher than without him. Now to the negative aspects, and fortunately for Spider-Man there's just one. The release timing is really tough for Homecoming. 3 weeks before the release we will have Kingsman: The Golden Circle. The week after that, Transformers: The Last Knight. And 1 week after that, there will be Despicable Me 3 and Uncharted. That's already insanely crowded, but it gets even better. 1 week after Homecoming, there will be War of the Planet of the Apes. After that, there will be Christopher Nolan's new film Dunkirk. And after that, there will be the Jumanji remake. I really just can't put into words how unbelievable crowded this 7 weeks are. For Spider-Man to not be affected by all of those releases, it has to perform perfect. So here, I will slowly fade in all aspects that I just counted for Spider-Man Homecoming, and now I will start with the pessimistic prediction. When everything goes wrong on the reboot of Spider-Man, when the quality is mediocre, most of the competitors which are being released in the weeks before or after Spider-Man are quite good, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 or Doctor Strange performed not that great because of a surprisingly bad quality and casts a little shadow over Spider-Man Homecoming, I can see the movie performing equally to The Amazing Spider-Man 2. In this scenario, I see an opening weekend of $90 million, which will conclude to a 210 million domestic total after a 2.33 multiplier. Because of the growing international market and the great performance of Civil War in China, Homecoming will perform great overseas with a total of $530 million in those territories. In total, this would put Spider-Man Homecoming at $740 million worldwide. Spider-Man movies were always expensive. We can expect Homecoming to have a budget of $200 to $225 million, with probably $75 to $100 million spent on marketing. 50% of the earnings are going back to Disney, so even when we take the upper end of the production and marketing costs, Disney will still earn money with the cinematic release, and the additional earnings from home media will also be quite good, since Spider-Man was always strong when it comes to the DVD and Blu-ray sales. Let's move on to the realistic prediction. When the quality of Spider-Man Homecoming matches the quality of the first Amazing Spider-Man, and when on top of that, nor Doctor Strange or Guardians of the Galaxy 2 perform bad at the box office, the new Spider-Man can already gross as much as the upper end of the old Spider-Man trilogy. In this scenario, I see an opening weekend of $110 million, which will conclude to a $275 million domestic total after a 2.5 multiplier. On top of that, Homecoming will have a damn good performance in China and also better performances in the rest of the world, for an overseas total of $615 million, which will give the movie a final worldwide total of $890 million. This gross would be close to the same amount of money that Spider-Man 3 grossed back in the days, and with a little luck, Spider-Man Homecoming could already become the most successful Spider-Man movie until now. The big question is, how much can the movie gross when everything falls into perfect place? Let's assume for a moment that Spider-Man Homecoming exceeds all expectations and arrives in cinemas with the same quality like the first Guardians or the first Avengers did. In this scenario, the movie will be a box office rocket and will arrive in the 1 billion club worldwide. Spider-Man was always big when it comes to the opening weekend numbers. So in this scenario, I think of a 135 million opening weekend, which will lead to $350 million after a 2.6 multiplier. In addition to that, Homecoming will gross $700 million overseas due to a breakout performance in China, and will finish its run with $1.05 billion. A quick reminder to everyone who hasn't watched my predictions on Doctor Strange, Thor Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy 2. All of these movies are in a very interesting position right now. Every single one has the potential to become the 5th most successful movie out of the Avengers Cinematic Universe behind Civil War. And it will be a war to death between those films, about who will come out on top. Very interesting, and I'm totally hyped to see who will win this race. The next video will be a prediction on Alien Covenant, Transformers The Last Knight or Dunkirk. Thanks for watching this video, guys, I really hope you liked it. Please let me know in the comments what you think is the most fitting prediction out of those 3 and which movie in your opinion comes out on top from the upcoming 4 Marvel movies. See you soon, bye bye.